I think social media is a huge, huge problem.
Of course it is.
I think, and you'll probably disagree with me, but I think the pharmaceutical industry is a huge, huge problem.
But there's just nothing
I would
better.
have disagreed with you 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, okay.
That's why I've always, I won't do that now, but I've always wanted to talk to you about this stuff, and I wanted to ask if your opinions on that have changed. It doesn't mean that some medicines don't work. I'm not one of those like black and white, but I think there is a bottom line to it that's more about the stockholders than the patient. And I've also noticed doctors treat symptoms. They don't treat the entire organism. And that seems to have changed and I think what happened is they're thinking, and correct me if I'm wrong, over time culture was like, you know what, it's easier just to give, Americans are crazy, just give them a pill. They don't want to do the work. They don't want to go through therapy.
Well, there's some of that. There's some of that for sure.
Yeah.
Let's just to look at like...
We want to pay money for a pill.
Let's look at illnesses related to dietary excess.
Right.
We just we've given up on helping people there because they just don't change. We're just going. Now we've got Ozempic, so okay, we'll use that now.
Stop eating so much and
how do I get some of that Ozempic?
You don't need it.
No, but how would I get some?
Weight Watchers. You can call Weight Watchers now. They're prescribing it.
Are you kidding me?
Oprah admitted today that she's on it.
Yeah.
I figured she was on it.
That's what I thought
she was
too.
In that purple gown.
Now she's going, I use it just for maintenance. What difference does it make when you're using it? It's good. It's all right. It works.
But it's dangerous. But the diabetics are dropping dead every day because they can't get their meds. Because all the fat ass Hollywood bitches are taking it all.
There's many good medicines for diabetes right now, but all the fat asses.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're getting at.
Oh my God.
So everyone's fat and stupid and brainwashed. MK Ultra. We're covering everything. I'm going through the notes.
So pharmaceuticals. So it's complicated, right?
Of course.
Yeah. And so
what I'm saying is everybody's medicated. Like
look at me
last
as an
I heard,
internist,
70 million.
So as a doctor, you have two things. You have a prescription pad and you have a scalpel, and that's about it.
Uh-oh.
That's about it.
No, that's true.
I don't really use a scalpel.
Right.
I use a prescription pad to change physiology, right?
Yes.
Most of what I prescribe is generic and costs pennies.
Right.
It just does.
What do you mean by physiology?
Well, it does change.
That as you get older, if you get an abnormal... It begs the issue, what is an illness, right? What is an illness? So illness is an abnormal state of physiology. And I want to push that physiology back towards normal.
Okay, I get what you mean.
Or I want to prevent some complication of that physiology.
So you're more about preventive, like the whole picture.
I'm whatever is required. Like look, if you come in with hypertension, I don't want you to have a stroke. I don't want you to have cardiomyopathy. I don't really care about the cause of the hypertension. I need to get that blood pressure under control right now.
Right.
Now, there are things I look around for to see if there's an underlying cause. It really doesn't change the treatment very much. And the consequences are the result of the high blood pressure, not the result of the narrowing of the renal artery, for instance. And I'm not going to go in and do an angioplasty into the renal artery. I'm going to give you the Avapro, and I'm going to give you the amlodipine, and I'm going to give you these things. They're wonderful medicines that were invented by pharmaceutical companies, and they made a lot of money on it, and then they lost their patent, and now we can do it for pennies.
Right.
Wait, what kind of a doctor are you?
I'm an internist. I'm an internist, but I spent many years in psychiatry.
You did, because I thought you were something to do with psychiatry.
I ran the medical services in a psychiatric hospital, so I became very familiar, very astute to what you're talking about, what the pharmaceuticals do and the excesses and the relationship between the body and the psychiatric stuff. That was my thing. Then I ended up running their addiction services for 20 years. So I was there at the crossroads of medicine and psychiatry and addiction.
Okay, so let me just say this. So
that's a lot of intersectionality.
It is. Thank you for using that term. It's really very pertinent to where I work. And I also was doing straight medicine alongside that.
Well, I'm just saying, picture this. You've got culturally, kids are dumber. They're raised different. People are
I don't know the kids are dumber.
Well, this is my theory.
Yeah.
You have people that have been medicated since, let's say in the 80s, it started going up. People are on drugs that change your brain chemistry. Yes. You have difference in parenting, the feminist movement in the 80s. A lot of things changed. Baby boomers.
Yes.
So you had cultural change. You had drug changes. And then you have these millennials that are raised basically, I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I diagnosed millennials as having narcissistic personality disorder when I used to podcast years ago. It was a very funny episode. But hold on, let me just say, so when you factor all that in, wouldn't that be why everything's so fucked up now? Is that these kids have now gone into positions of power. They weren't raised with the golden rule.
I think what the PSYOP is.
That's what I think the PSYOP is, I guess.
The PSYOP is.
It's cultural.
That's what I think it is. The PSYOP is They're turning the kids into mindless warriors.
Right.
Yes.
That's what they want.
Useful idiots. That's what
Well, they want them fighting with each other in the street, and then half will kill the other half, and they'll send whoever survives off to fight in the Ukraine.
Well, but you're now imagining there's somebody doing that. I'm here saying this seems to be a cycle that we get into as humans.
Yes.
Lenin, Robespierre, you name it. It's come.
It definitely is a cycle.
It happens, and
it's the degenerate power.
I see it as these childhood trauma cycles. That's a major issue.
That's what I'm asking. Is that what you think it is?
That's a part of it, and
it is a pattern that repeats.
I think it is
100%
something like that. And also when there's economic disparity and stuff, obviously that makes it worse. And so
I could really blow your mind right now.
I can't wait. But let me just say this one thing before you blow my mind.
Okay.
The biggest liability of narcissism and the emotion about which there is injunctions against in every scripture, and which is alive and well in America today, is envy. Envy is a dangerous fucking emotion.
Yes, it is.
It's not jealousy. Jealousy is, oh, Roseanne is a cool student here. I'm going to work hard to get one too. That's jealous. It makes me uncomfortable. I want to do that. Envy is, Roseanne had cool stuff here. Fuck her. I got to destroy her.
Yeah.
That's envy.
That's envy. Yeah.
That's where the guillotines come. That's where the scapegoatings come. Now blow my mind.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about that.